Tawab, bear with me. Make sure we're live. Okay, come on. All right, so this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, verse 50 in the GNT. The people of this world who have lived their lives in pride and arrogance will suffer many things in the last days. Call Hulayimlah, Al-Banawa, Yahawadah, Bahashim, Yahawadah, Bahashim, Rekat, Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, verse 50 in the GNT. The people of this world who have lived their lives in pride and arrogance will suffer many things in the last days. And that's, amen, that's also another sign from Yahawadah Yahawadah that we are in the last days, man. Because, you know, these Babylonians, a.k.a. these Americans, they're prideful and arrogant as hell, man. Especially the so-called self-proclaimed white man. And we see what's going on right now, how the government, what's the correct term to say? Basically Donald Trump's cabinet, you know, how they, they effed around and found out and this and that and this, and, speaking very boldly, very pompous, okay? And, all that's a part of prophecy, man, because, what does it say before that? Let's grab a precept. Let's let the Bible talk. I ain't got nothing to do with the plantation. Just ask my boss if we got anything. Salakia, you know how I go, man. You already know how I go. But, yeah, I'm at the plantation. I asked my boss if we got anything to do. He said no, so I said, hey, man, let's go hit the button. Why not? All right, so let's grab this precept. Speaking on, to line up what we read. Matter of fact, before we grab that, let's read what we read again. 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, verse 50 in the GNT. The people of this world who have lived their lives in pride and arrogance will suffer many things in the last days, man. Long suffering, mourning, weeping, famine, pestilence, okay? The Lord's going to make you Babylonians, you Americans, feel his wrath, man. Okay? And he's not just going to bring the destruction just like that. It's going to be, what is it called? They do torture. It's going to be torture, Salaki. It's going to be torture upon you Babylonians, man. Okay, so let's grab this precept because, you Edomites, you women, you American mindset people here in Babylon the Great, you're very, very proud, man. Okay? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, starting off at verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction. So, again, this is part of prophecy to see these Edomites prideful as hell. Walking with their chest poked out and believe that they're going to be able to prevail, succeed and be able to accomplish their new agenda, their new goal, which is the goal. They're going to accomplish it because it's of Yahawadah Yahawadah, because we know the end game of that, man. Okay, but it's beautiful to see this devil literally playing his position how Yahawadah Yahawadah ordained, man. Okay? Proverbs 16, verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So we are literally watching the downfall of our adversaries, man. We are literally witnessing the transition of their rulership to our rulership, Because what is at stake? Let's grab another precept. So, I know I'm everywhere, but, precepts is running through my mind right now. So let's grab a precept. Let's let the Bible talk. That's my motto. That's my motto. So let's let the Bible talk. So, this is Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. Now, how did this man get everything? Unrighteously. Okay, not in the way that is acceptable in the eyes of Yahawadah Yahawadah. Okay, he did everything through lies, rape, rob, pillage, bloodshed, etc. Okay, so like here. So Sirach 10 verse 8 again, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So we are literally witnessing the downfall of our adversaries, our enemies, and the kingdom being translated from their hands and being prepped for Israel, for Yahawadah, King David, the 12 disciples, the 144,000, man. We are literally witnessing that right now before our eyes, man. Okay? And so this is something that we have to rejoice in, man. We got to rejoice in seeing, the downfall of our enemies, man. It also reminds me of another precept too, Salakia. That Yahawadah said, man, because we're literally witnessing history in the making, man. Okay, we're literally witnessing history in the making, and we're a part of it, and that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a very, very beautiful thing to be a part of history in the making. So this is St. Matthew 13, starting off at verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. So, and that's not a light thing. That's not a small matter, because blessed are our eyes that we see. Okay, and we hear that we understand. Okay, because anybody can see anything, but do you understand what you're hearing? And that's the difference between us of the hopeful elect, Adawan Ratazah. We are the elect. We understand what we're hearing and what we're seeing. Okay, the Lord, as it states, the Lord reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets, and also to, come on, man, god damn. Everybody loading up and everything else, man. So like it. And also too, what is it? Salakia. Let me read this again. St. Matthew 13, verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. And it's also of predestination. Yahawadah Yahawadah. And I'm going to hold that, Salakia. Well, not Salakia, that I'm going everywhere. This, the spirit, man. Because it's of the remnant. Okay, Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. According as he, Yahawadah, have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. So the remnant, the house of David that's being established, arisen, reactivated, or woken up right now, was chosen before the creation and foundation of the earth, man. So those lively stones, those vessels, those spirits coming back are going to resonate, understand, and connect to this gospel, this ministry, this good news, okay? That we should be holy, okay? And that word holy goes into what? Severed, separate, okay? That we should be holy and without blame before him in love, because as it also states, the remnant is going to be blameless. They're going to have no guile in their mouth. They're going to speak these prophetic words correctly and directly and precisely through the power and spirit and words of Yahawadah. And you can't place no blame upon those that Yahawadah has chosen. Let's grab a precept. And so, hey, I'm everywhere, but it's just the spirit, man. It's just the spirit. This is the book of Romans 8. I'm going to go straight to the point. Verse 30. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we then say to these things? If Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawadah, be for us, who can be against us? Nobody can be against us, man. Because the Lord has, basically put us amongst, again, that predestination that have always been, coming back to him, captivity after captivity, doing the work, preaching, teaching, warning, edifying, condemning, etc. All the things that we had to do. So in the eyes of Yahawadah, we're blameless, man. Okay, and with truth and sincerity and humility. Okay? Because, you know, you can't fake the funk, man. You know, as it says in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2, what's done in the dark shall come to the light. You can't fake you can only fake for so long, man. Okay? Point blank, period, man. So let's jump back to Ephesians chapter 1. Let's finish that out. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. And, you know, and those that the Lord has justified and glorified and made them without guile and without blemish, you know, those are the ones that are actually going to be speaking his words correctly, sincere, okay? And then amongst other things that I said prior. But again, Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4, according as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahawadah HaMashiach to himself, so to Yahawadah and to Yahweh, according to the good pleasure of his will. So if it's according to the pleasure of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashai's will, that means we understand everything's being revealed to us, the secrets, the Lord's pleasure, his will, his plan, the agenda. So we're sticking to the script. Okay, the Lord has revealed the script, the blueprint, everything to us for us to conduct and go about things correctly in this captivity, man. Okay? So we understand this gospel. The good news to us, it's a beautiful, beautiful melody, man. A very beautiful melody, man. Okay? And it was something else I was holding. Salakia. It might come back, it might not. Okay? But let's grab this, you know. Let's keep it moving, man. Okay? And you know, I went somewhere else with this, but you know, it is what it is, man. So what is that? Salakia. That's Ezra. Is that chapter? No, it's Nehemiah. Salakia. Nehemiah. I think that's chapter 10. Or it might be 11 or 12. Salakia. Or 13. Salakia. It might be 13. No, it's not 13. Salakia. Bear with me, Israel. It's a precept that popped into my head. I gotta grab this precept. What is that? I know it's Nehemiah. Bear with me. I got my Bible in the job. Let's see. Okay, it was 13. Salakia. All right, so this is Nehemiah chapter 13. And, yep, come. This is Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 14. Remember me, O my power, Yahawadah Ba'ashem Yahawashai, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my power and for the offices thereof. And that's one thing that we got to keep in mind, you know, us, you know, not just the prophets, the teachers, etc., but also those of us that have come back to the Lord and are attempting to do everything to the best of our ability, man, you know, to be transformed, renewed in our mind, sanctified and purified by the word. You know, we always ask the Lord to remember our good deeds, man, to remember, you know, the suffering, the sacrifice, the diligence, the devotion that we commit to our obedience and submission to Yahawadah Ba'ashem Yahawashai. Okay, because, you know, as we know and as we see, there's nothing for us in this world but death and destruction. Okay, and, you know, as, you know, the beloved Elder Manat Zakba just did a video, you know, even being a leader, you can lose the spirit, man. And also speaking about these things prior, you know, we have a lot of examples that have been shown forth all these years of men that have been in the truth for decades and, you know, whether it be 5, 6, 10, 15 years, and the spirit just be taken away from them just like that, man. And that should also be a reminder, first and foremost, I'm speaking to myself because I'm looking at myself. That should be a reminder to myself and also you beloved GMS AhMath, man. Okay, because we're not redeemed and we have not received salvation yet. And again, that's why Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 14, remember me. So me saying this and my prayer in my mind, remember me, AhMath YaAiz, O Yahawadah Yahawadah, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds. So forget not my good deeds, Lord, that I was really sincere. I was really obedient. I was really all in. I was dedicated. I was very cautious in how I conducted myself, how I fed the sheep, etc., etc., etc. I really put my all in. And I know, for me personally, I know I could have done better, but I did not take my hand from the plow. I did not stop praying. I did not stop doing this. I did not stop doing that. Okay, remember me, O my power, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my power. And, for the prophets, the teachers, elder apostles, elder bishops, what is one of our deeds? We're the speakers of the church, man. We're the ones to warn, to edify, to teach, to comfort you with these words. We have been, Lord willing, I am, of those lively stones, the men that are prophesy and teach. We have been set up to, comfort those that seek learning, comfort those that seek knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. To break down the scriptures correctly, directly, and precisely through the power and spirit words of Yahawadah, man. We were set up to do our real job, man. Which is a true blessing, to be awoken, activated, and also re-educated of true history and true understanding amongst this world, man. Okay? So, this is not a light thing, man. This is not a light thing. So let's continue. I got about an hour left. I'm gonna probably grab a couple more precepts and I'll close out. Yeah, Yep. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab this precept right here and I'll close out. It's just popped in my head for Wadi Yahawadah Yahawadah. Okay, because the truth has been so long without fruit. We have been taught a lot of lies. We have been led astray. We have been, as Malcolm X said, bamboozled, man. But now that the Lord considered us, because again, we haven't received redemption, salvation yet. We haven't gotten those new bodies. We're not in our land. We're not in rulership. We're not in power. We don't have the dominion of the earth. This place is still, functioning. Okay, it's it's not Jacob's trouble to the max. It's not sedition. Like Mad Max to the 35th power, roughly paraphrasing. But the truth, which has been so long without fruit, is prevailing right now, and it's not going to be silenced. It's not going to be, pushed to the back burner. It's not going to be how these damn devils want it to be. It's only going to grow. It's only going to prosper. It's only going to prevail, as I just stated. So let's read this. This is 1 Esdras chapter 4, and let's start off at verse. Let's start off at verse, verse 33. The king and the princes looked once upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. And that's what we do. We speak of what? The truth. Okay, because as it also states in our Bible, the prophet shall not, Salakia, I know I said, but let me grab this precept, man. Let's let the Bible talk, man. 2 Corinthians 4, and it's self-explanatory. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 2. Verse 1. Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, okay, these words, these precepts of Yahawadah Yahawadah, as we have received mercy, okay, consideration, the Lord has enlightened us, given us understanding, okay, because you can get wisdom, you can get knowledge, but do you understand what you're receiving? We faint not, and I went into a lesson about fainting, being faint. And I highly advise you, GMS AhMath, to watch that, man. That should help you build your spirit up. Okay, Verse 2, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty, okay, lying, okay, not being truthful, etc., deceitful, not walking in craftiness, nor handling the word of Yahawadah Hashem Yahawashi deceitfully, okay, which is the truth. So we give you the truth, whether you like it or not, okay, the raw, uncut, no filter, okay, point blank period, man. All hooks, uppercuts, all that, man. We give you the truth. We don't handle the words of Yahawadah Hashem Yahawashi deceitfully, man, okay? We're here to please and be accepted and to do the bidding and will of Yahawadah Hashem Yahawashi. So let's jump back to 1 Esdras chapter 4, and let's start off again. All right, 1 Esdras chapter 4, verse 33. The king and the princes looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven. Swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Salakia. Verse 35. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. So who made these things? Yahawadah Hashem Yahawashi made these things, and Yahawadah Hashem Yahawashi made the truth. Okay, and that what's that? That's going into the word made flesh, which is the truth, which is Yahawashi. Okay, if you understand that, if I'm not losing you. Okay, continuing on. Verse 36. All the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heavens blesseth it. Okay, and that's what everybody wants right now. Everybody wants the truth. Everybody's tired of being told lies. Everybody's tired of being told, fraudulent nonsense. You got, the so-called woke culture and everything else. The only people that are actually woke are us of the hope for the elect. Okay, because we have the real truth, the real hidden things that was been again so long without fruit. Okay, continuing on. All the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it. Okay, and again, that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the upper echelon, the elites. They're shaking right now because this truth is rocking the world to and fro. When you see the prophets risen up, just go into our history in the Bible, man. Every time the prophets was risen up, speaking, prophesying, condemning, warning, edifying, etc. Hey, man, that's the time to fear, man. Why do you think it says in the book of 1 Samuel, when he went to our people, what did he say to Samuel? Does thou comest peacefully? And Samuel said, yes, I come to, do a sacrifice. Because, when the prophets come, hey, man, it's big business when the prophets come, man. Okay, speaking the truth. Okay? All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. There's no unrighteous thing with the truth. And I read a precept. I read a precept in this lesson that I premiered today, and this is a good prime example for me to get that precept against Salakia. Well, not Salakia. It is what it is, man. You don't like it? Oh well. Tune off. I think this is it. I think this is it. Let me see. Bear with me 1 second. Let me see. Woo, yeah. This is Proverbs 12, verse 19. And I'm going to read this in the AMP. Truthful lips will be established forever, but a lying tongue is credited only for a moment. Okay, and that's Esau's mentality. That's Esau's characteristic, man. He lies. And that lie was only credited for a moment. Because why? Because the Lord sat back, relaxed, and let him have his shine for a little bit. But it got to a certain point where Yahawadah Hashem Yahawashi said, you know what? It's time for these cave gorillas to know who's really in charge. Let me go ahead and rise up Abba Bibbins real quick. Let him start. Let him start it. You know what I'm saying? Then around this time, I'm going to flood the gates with all the prophets. Okay, around 2007, I'm gonna rise up all the elders. It's gonna be up and coming elders in the 2020s, and we're gonna flood everything. Okay, then I'm gonna sprinkle some here, sprinkle some there, but the truth is gonna lie with these men right here. These men right here are gonna have my truth. But I'm gonna sprinkle this here, I'm gonna sprinkle this there. Okay, so the Lord just sat back and let this man lie. So his lies was credited for a while. Everybody, you know, which some people still do, which are fucking idiots, you know, Salaki for the language, but which are idiots, still believe this white man, this so-called white man, is pure and innocent. Real talk, man. Especially, man, especially you Moabites. Even and I'm speaking it right now because, you know, I'm listening to, we got contractors in my job too. We got Muslims and also, you know, Moabites. A lot of Moabites, a lot of Muslims and Edomites. And these Muslims and Edomites, it's like these Muslims, and well, especially Moab love Esau. But these Muslims, because they was all talking about, you know, what's going on with Trump and everything else, and I'm just sitting back and just listening. You know, I'm not even voicing I'm just listening. You know how we do, man. We Clark Kent. And you know, and they still think that these people are innocent. And it's like, wow, man, you can't make this up, man. But Salakia. Let's jump back to First Esdras. So I know I've been going for a minute. And Yahawadah Hashem Yahawadah Barakatham Hashem Kakadash. To all you beloved Akim wa Akwaf. First Esdras chapter 4, verse 36. All the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All work shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. Wine is wicked, and the wine that we're talking about right now is the philosophies, his democracy, his customs, the way he governs and structures the earth. His wine is wicked. Okay, their judgment is terrible and dreadful. It proceeds of themselves, man, because it's only for their benefit. It used to be for their nation, but now it's for their benefit. The ones that actually, you know, call the shots, the ones that have a certain type of level in society, the government, etc., man. You know, the blue-collar, middle-class Edomite is being pushed to the poor, man, you know? And which in actual reality, he's been doing that, but he's making it known now that he don't give a damn about nobody in his nation. Because, you know, even though they know the red lining and what grocery stores to go to, but all the food is basically tainted now. You know, you're still spraying chemtrails in the air. Everybody's breathing poison, you know? So he's been literally not only, you know, targeting Jake, but he's also been, you know, killing his own people, man. You know, with the infrastructure, with the healthcare system, you know, the usury, all these things, man. Okay? Verse 37, First Esdras 4, verse 37. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, and we know who the king of the earth is right now. The Edomite. He is the wicked. He was made to be the wicked, and he's doing a hell of a job, man. Amen. Yahawadah Hashem Yahawadah. Everything that he's designed, everything that he's created, everything that Yahawadah Hashem Yahawadah has done is perfect. But this devil think it has error. Think it has what did they say in the stuff defects. Okay, so he believes what the Lord has done, he can do better, and there's something wrong with it. When it's actually nothing, it's perfect. Okay, continuing on. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, which we know. I'm not going to speak on it. All the children of men are wicked, and such are their wicked works. And we know the works. We see the works. We're amongst the works. We're vexed by the filthy conversation of the wicked, not only by the conversation, by their deeds too, man. This is hell. How could you be comfortable here, man? How could you embrace this place? How could you want this place to progress and move forward for more years? We're praying for this place to get destroyed last week, last year, last month. That's how much we're praying for the demise, the destruction of this place, man. Okay? And there is no truth in them. Okay? Because, again, at one point, what they try to do, they try to hide the truth. They didn't want us to know the truth, but again, the Lord, you know, he awoken his prophets, you know? Okay, continuing on. In their unrighteousness also shall they perish. That's the end game. And we're praying and hoping and waiting, suffering patiently to see that, man. Okay, I'm not going to say Salakia. I'm just going to read the precept. I'm going to read 2 precepts. You know, it's the spirit, bro. The spirit. It's the spirit. This is Sirach 25. This is Sirach 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th will I utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. And that's what we're patiently waiting to see, the fall of our enemies. Because even if you have somewhat of your children in your life, we don't really have the joy of our children, man. You know, it's always in your mind, what if something happened to them? You know, just like, you know, you more than likely pray for your kids, but, you know, we're under the curses still. But, you know what, we're hoping and waiting to see, physically to see the downfall of our adversaries, man. Let's grab one more precept on that. Let's go to the book of Baruch, chapter 4, because they saw our downfall. And, you know, the Edomites raise it to the foundations thereof. All these heathens, man, they celebrated. They continue to celebrate until this day of our downfall. They had a hand in our downfall. And guess what? We're going to have a hand in their downfall. You damn right. And any of you weak-ass Israelites that think you not and say you not, hey, man, may the Lord destroy you, man. If you want the heathen to have a piece of our pie, may the Lord destroy you, man. If you want the heathens to be saved, may the Lord destroy you, man. They ain't worried about you. They treat you like you ain't nothing. They treat you like you S-H-I-T. Which a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians, you are. So this is Baruch chapter 4. Let's start off with verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, Yahawadah Hashem Yahawadah, which shall come upon you with great glory. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1 on down. Read that. Okay, and brightness of everlasting, weeping and gnashing of teeth. How could these niggas, these wetbacks, these tree niggas, these savages be the Lord's chosen? Why do they get to see salvation? Why do they get to be protected? Verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High, for thine enemy have persecuted thee, which they have not stopped. They have continuously persecuted us, left and right. Continuously apply pressure on our necks, man. They didn't lighten the affliction. They greatly, intensely amplified the affliction, man. So like, I'm excited and I'm pissed at the same time thinking about this, man. Okay. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shall tread upon his neck. So we're gonna, man, revenge is gonna be so sweet, man. It's gonna be so sweet to see the downfall of our adversaries, our enemy, to see their bloodshed, to see them weep, cry, to see Edomite, Ishmaelite, Hamite, Moabite, Ammonite, heathen children and women to cry. You know? That's right. He forced it with joy, with pride, arrogance, smiling, man. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see these bitches, these little ugly, weird-looking kids cry. Because our people went through it. Okay, the Native Americans. And when I say Native Americans, I'm talking about all the Northern Kingdom that was here. Because they're all considered Native Americans, man. Okay? The Southern Kingdom. Everything that we went through, man. You cannot forget your history, man. I just get along just to get along. and to do as the Bible said, live peaceably amongst all men. Even though the beloved elder Manatazakbah said that's really applying to Israel, but we still apply it in general. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. A time for this, a time for that, a time for this. We apply. And that's what we're about. We apply. So let's go ahead and close on out. I've been going for 30 minutes, man. I'm tripping like a motherfucker. Yeah, this is spirit, though, you know. The Lord got me. All right, so this is 1 Esdras chapter 4. This is self-explanatory. I got to break this down. Verse 38. As for the truth, which we speak, we declare, which is being professed and spoken correctly and precisely through the power and spirit and words of Yahawadah by those men that have the 144% truth. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. Okay? What did we read back in Proverbs 12, verse 19? That's another precept. Salakia. Let me see real quick here. This is Proverbs 12, verse 17 in the NLT. An honest witness tells the truth. Okay? An honest witness tells the truth. Okay? Proverbs 12, verse 17 in the AMP. He who speaks truth when he testifies tells what is right, but a false witness utters deceit in court. So we've been speaking the truth. We don't utter deceit. Again, we give it to you raw and uncut. No filter. No Vaseline. No comfort. Period, man. So if you don't like it, oh well. What is that saying? The truth hurts? Yeah, if you don't accept it. But we accept it. So let's go back. 1 Esdras 4, verse 38. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. Salakia. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works. And that's why these wicked sellouts, these fake people that's claiming the truth, that's why, you know, the truth is not with them, because they're wicked. And what does it say in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 verse 5? Wisdom shall not dwell in a malicious soul. Because Jake is really not sincere. Jake is really not in this for the right reason. Okay? Verse 40. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness. Okay? Neither in her, Sophia, the truth, judgment is any unrighteousness like it. And she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. What is that? Blessed be Yahawadah by Shem Yahawadah of truth. Self-explanatory. And that's what we live by, and that's what we stand by. Okay? So we're going to tell the truth. We're going to do what the Lord told us to do, and we're going to stand boldly on that, man. And if you don't like it, oh well. Take it up with Yahawadah Shem Yahawadah, man. I didn't mean to go this long. I just meant to go for like 15, 20 minutes. It's almost 40 minutes, man. I'm tripping. Let me get back in this daggone plantation. I'm hoping my boss left. Looked like he did. But yeah, man. I don't want to wrap this out, man. I hope and I pray that this was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the truth of GMS AhMath. And again, Yahawadah Shem Yahawadah Barakathum Bahashim Rakak Chodash to your beloved GMS AhMath. May the blessing and election and protection be upon you and your household, man. Amen. When the lesson come on you, man, if you can, hit the button, man. Hit the button. Hey, love y'all. I don't want to wrap this out to the next one. Shalom. Prophecy's coming out, man. Okay, this devil, man, he pumping his chest up. Shalom.